Let's get salty!
Hey everyone, Zeddy here again today with a brand new video, and we are still awaiting that real patch. We had those two little nerfs last week, but I thought it was time for me to give my predictions and also just my hopes of what cards should get nerfed, and maybe we'll talk a little bit about buffs as well, because you take a look at Warrior, probably needs a little bit of help. So we'll do our predictions. You can share your own in the comments below. We don't know if a patch is coming this week, but I would think by the latest next week we should see one, especially there's a Masters Tour event. Yes, those still happen going on this weekend, so probably not this week, but you never know. And as always, if you enjoyed the content on the channel, feel like I've earned your subscription, please hit that sub button down below. Give the video a like, it helps us out a ton. And if we look at the ranks, or at least the win rates across all ranks, according to Aegis Replay, we can see Hunter extremely dominant, with Paladin Warlock being the only other positive classes, with all the other classes at least being all right up to like Warrior and Demon Hunter, but Demon Hunter is actually quite good if you take a look at the higher ranks. Look at the meta at Legend. Yes, Hound Hunter, Secret Hunter, the aggressive archetype and the more slower archetype, the dominant Dex, Drum Druid, Mech Rogue still going strong, Outcast, Demon Hunter, even a Rage Warrior finally popping up, Pure Paladin, Totem Shaman, Thaddeus Warlock, Nature Shaman, and of course the Rainbow Mage surprisingly falling off, although I do think it does better probably at the higher of Legends, but even then it did have solid Alibi get nerfed. It's actually, no, it's 49%. It is not exactly killing it, but anyways, you see what the decks are doing that are doing really strong. What do I think will get changed? Well, the only archetype that's really killing it for Demon Hunter is Outcast, and I guess Relics are quite popular, but you can see the win rates are not unreasonable. I still would really love to see Unleash Fell go to 2. I still think this card is absurd, but I don't think any Demon Hunter nerfs will happen. I don't think any Death Knight nerfs will happen. Druid is seeing an emergence lately with the whole drum circle archetype that just scams early drum circles with cultivation, but I think it's a little too soon to nerf that particular tree. Druid hasn't been a thing. The win rates aren't impressive, so Druid I don't think gets hit, but Hunter absolutely will, and they typically like to nerf older cards, not the newer cards, and as much as I love Hollow Hound, I do think Hunter has been dominant for long enough that it will get hit. I don't know what it will be. It could be 7 mana. You could make it a 2-attack minion. You could make it a 3/5. There's a lot of different routes you can take with it. I just hope it's minor in its change, because I do like the flexibility it opens up for Hunter. And the other thing is, it's a Deathlike card too, and by nerfing this, you definitely nerf Blood Decay, which is not a strong deck at the moment. So that's a kind of unfortunate crossfire, but it's been so long that I just feel like it's probably going to change. And we all know how Blizzard feels about mass healing. We know that, right? So good shot. This one's finally hitting. But if they nerf that, that leaves that Secret Hunter deck unchecked. And I don't think they're nerfing like Starstrung Bow or the new Secrets or the new Forge Secret card, which is insane. I think the best shot of a card to get nerfed is Costume Singer. This card is ridiculous. A busted 1-drop. I would like to see it change to be like Peasant. Peasant at the start of your turn, draw a secret. That would be my ideal nerf to it. I don't want to see it go to 2 mana, but they probably don't want to disrupt that curve, right? Like, it's really nice at Hunter, you play it on 1, you play the secret on 2. This is also a mage card, and it would nerf Secret Mage and Wild, which I have no problems with. But yeah, I would expect this to get hit, and hopefully the Peasant change, but you could make it a 1 mana 1/1. We've seen that change before, or you can make it a 2 mana 3/2 or 2/2 or whatever. But I do think Costume Singer is the card to look at, and I don't know if they nerf another card. Honestly, you could make an argument for nerfing Hidden Meaning. This card is ridiculous, and I just feel like it'd be nice if the 3-cost minion didn't effectively have charge when it came out, right? I don't know. I don't like that interaction where they get that charge minion. Sometimes just win on the spot, it feels like. So I think 3 nerfs could happen. Hidden Meaning's the least likely, but Hunter's been dominant, and I feel like people are ready for a change, and it does even well at high ranks. Like, it does well everywhere. It's not just like a low rank thing. Although Mage isn't killing it, I would not be surprised whatsoever to see a change to a certain 3-mana card that basically allows you to steal a Titan, make your own, and punish your opponent for playing the fun new cards. It is a Warlock card as well, so there is that to go with it. But Reverberations in a Titan's meta feels so bad to punish your opponent so much for just playing a Titan, right? Like, I feel like this card, although the power level actually is pretty insane, it's a nutty card. It's a really good card, but although Mage isn't like a clear outlier at the moment, this could just be a nerf for the feels, right? Like, it feels really bad to have your Titan taken, and maybe they just make it 4 mana. Or what would be cool is they could add the Amenthul text and say summon a copy of a non-Titan minion, right? Like, you can't copy a Titan. So I would expect probably a bump to 4 mana, but it could not get hit. There's a chance of that due to Mage not being an outlier, but I don't know. They just hit Solid Alibi too, and all of that. I just feel like this card feels so rough that they might just make that change. For Rogue, the mech stuff is actually doing really well, but it's a new archetype. They want that to work, and maybe they make Mimiron a 2/4, make it a little bit more fragile, but I feel like they're not going to nerf a new legendary. I just don't see it. But what I could see is the possibility of them taking my suggestion on Twitter and making the stealth bot for 1 turn. That would nerf all mechs and all that. But I just feel like the spark bot that gives like permanent stealth is such a frustrating experience. Still for 1 turn, it's incredibly good. Sets up a lot of gross stuff. But why is Spider or whatever just for the turn and this is permanent stealth, right? The original version. That's the change I could see to kind of maybe alter those mech decks a little bit. But I don't really see actual mech card in Rogue being changed, considering they just hit 1 new expansion card already. I'd be quite surprised to see them hit another one. Shaman is another one that's very contentious. The play pattern of Nature Shaman in particular, really unfun, really uninteractive, all brought on by Flash of Lightning. But we know Blizzard, they nerf around mana cheat. They also nerf around new cards. I don't expect to see Flash of Lightning get changed, but I do very much expect to see Bioluminescence get nerfed, whether it goes to 4 mana, whether maybe you take the nature tag off. It kind of kills the flavor, because like, look at that art, it's beautiful, it's definitely nature, but something to this card to slow it down, because with like conjunction with Crash of Thunder and Flash of Lightning, it is just a ridiculous. And yeah, I could see this happening, and it would also help out Wild. So I don't see any more nerfs to Shaman, but Bioluminescence I think is the most likely target, and there's been a lot of complaining, also by me, about Nature Shaman, so a good shot it could happen. Warlock, although not an outlier, I could see this getting the Druid treatment with the whole card that a lot of people are frustrated by, Amorphous Slime. We just saw that Thwomper card got changed for Druid, going from 5 to 6. Amorphous Slime, it's basically the same deal. Cheating out a Thaddeus, cheating out the 4/8 Undead. Super frustrating. Wins the game on the spot. I just expect Amorphous Slime to go to 6 instead of, you know, nerfing maybe Thaddeus to not cheat 1 billion mana. But, you know, you spend 10 mana on it, you expect a big payoff. It's just these cards enable it. So they've been going after the enablers, and I expect that to maybe continue. So I'll go a little bit of a leap and say Amorphous Slime gets nerfed. And what do we nerf in Warrior? Warrior's so good. Brawl, definitely got to go to... No, we're not nerfing Warrior whatsoever. And neutrals, I don't think there's any like clear outlier at all. The best card in all of Titans, like I think is the 1-drop for neutrals. That's, you know, Drone Deconstructor. It's just a really good card. I guess if we get nerfed by the Sparkbot change, so I guess I would be kind of predicting this card getting nerfed indirectly, but overall, I don't know what else you would really hit. Like, other cards are seeing play, but just reasonably. So neutrals, not so much. And in terms of buffs, I would think you would look at Titans cards for the most part. If you watch my worst cards video, I would expect maybe one of these cards, like Argunite Golem, Crystalline Statue, Disciple of Argus, or Iridar Deceptor, to get buffed in some way. Maybe 1, 2, all of them. They're all terrible. They could all get buffed. Mythical Terror, probably not, because Big Demon Hunter is fine and it still wouldn't run this. I don't think Death Knight really needs any buffs, although the plagues aren't doing as well as you would like. So probably actually there could be a plague buff. I don't know what you buff, honestly. They're all really good cards. You could make this 10 mana. They love to buff the best cards in the deck and do that, but I guess the one that stands out to me is like Down with the Ship. It's got double rune requirement, but it still requires you to kill something, right? You can't just hit it. Even the old soul fragment card would deal 3 damage to a minion, shuffle soul fragments. It had no condition other than that. So I would just take the condition. I don't feel like it needs to kill. You could do that. That'd be all right with that. I'd still keep it as to a minion. This deck already has got enough frustrating style of reach. But I don't know what else. You could make this Cavaldier a battle cry, but then you're killing like the Death Rattle synergy that they have going on. So I really don't know what, like, you don't want to make this a 4 or 5. That doesn't really change stuff. So I'd say like Chain Guardian or the removal spell. I don't think you're buffing Druid. Obviously not Hunter or Mage. Paladin, definitely got a buff an Earthern card. They're all doing bad. The worst one was Stoneheart King. So I would just say make this 3 mana. Like, just make it 3 mana. It's a 3 mana 3/2 that gives you 2/2. Is that going to break the deck? No, I don't think you do that. This was the best performing card, but honestly, it could probably be 5 mana. The only card I wouldn't hit, which isn't even on that list because it's a good card, is like Tear, which resummons a bunch of stuff. But overall, yeah, I would definitely go with at least one of the Earthern cards, if not both of them, because they're really underperforming. For Priest, all the new cards kind of suck outside of the control ones. This should be like a 6 mana 6/6. This should not be an 8 mana 8/8. So we'll go with Shapeless Constellation. Make use of this art. Rogue's doing well. I wouldn't buff anything there. Same with Shaman, Warlock. Warrior, none of the new cards really need to get buffed. I think they're all just totally fine. The exception being Khazgroth, the Warrior Titan, to me feels like the most underwhelming Titan of all of them. In the entire expansion, I wouldn't change a lot. When this does get going, it's pretty good. The issue is it's a random enemy minion it attacks. I just wish you could target. I would love that they would buff it, that you could target that enemy minion so it doesn't feel terrible when you low roll hit like a 1/1. So I would expect to see some kind of change. There could be just a stat change, make it a 5-drop. I don't know, but Khazgroth just feels really bad in comparison to the other Titans, even if it's not the worst card in the world. What I would like to see is one of the board clears, Brawl, go to 4 mana. This card, I feel like it's time, or give it the poof effect of remove all minions from the game except one, so at least can deal with death rattles, right? You could do that, or you could take a look at Bladestorm, which is a garbage card. Just get rid of it and trade it for like Shield Shatter. Like, do that, get it out of the core set. Or if you can't do that, buff it to like deal 2 damage to all minions. Repeat until 1 dies, because this card just sucks. Like, buff either this card or give us a new one, because it's not really making the cut. And for Titans neutrals, I can't really think of anything you go crazy buffing. There's nothing that really stands out. So yeah, those are kind of my rough predictions of what will get nerfed, what will get buffed. Let me know in the comments below what you agree with, disagree with, what your predictions are, and whenever we find out about it, I will report it as soon as I hear about it. If you enjoy the video, please like and subscribe. Have a great day and stay salty, my friends.